Peace and blessings, everybody. Peace and blessings. Welcome to Trailblazers Radio. I am your host, Mr. FLBD, and I have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful guest in the studio with me right now. But we'll get to him in just a second. But I want to make sure, I want to make sure that I welcome everybody to this special edition of the Office Alley. Again, I have a wonderful special guest in the building, and we're gonna get to him in just a moment. But before we go into any of that, I want to throw a couple of announcements out here real quick. First and foremost, I want to let you guys know to continue to follow us on Instagram at Trailblazers Radio. Continue to follow us on Facebook at Trailblazers Radio, and also we have a LinkedIn page now. So follow us on LinkedIn as well. We're gonna I'll make sure I throw video and audio snippets of our interviews of our wonderful guests on that on the LinkedIn channel. So make sure you follow us there as well. And I want to thank all our supporters, all our fans, all our listeners, all our viewers for their continued support of us. Without you guys, we really wouldn't be here, and I appreciate that. Most definitely want to give thanks to my two beautiful hosts, Quint Jones and Coco Fenton, for just helping me and helping us bring this platform to where it is right now. And I want to most definitely give thanks to the Almighty God, because without him, none of this happens and none of this even goes on, none of this even pops off. So I want to make sure I give my thanks and my deference to him. So, one other thing I want to, and this is kind of sort of impromptu. I want to just continue, if you can, please just give continued blessing, continue prayers and prayers of strength, prayers of hope, and prayers of peace for a good friend of mine, Ms. Hershey Stefferson. She lost her daughter a few days ago. So please continue please, if you can, say a prayer for her, prayers of continued strength and prayers of continued elevation and hope and peace and understanding. Hershey, if you're out there listening, if you're listening to me, if you're listening to us or you're watching us right now, I want to say that from the Trailblazers family, from my family to the Trailblazers family to yours, we most definitely are praying for you, praying for your strength, praying for your hope, praying for your peace. We love you, and we in any way we can support you, we will. But now that is out of the way, I have a wonderful guest on the show with us tonight, man. I met this gentleman a while back during an event from a good friend of mine, Miss Trina McCarthy, and we've chatted back and forth since then. Trying to figure out the timing to get this interview started because he's in Ireland and I'm here stateside. So the timing was quite curious, but as you can see, we got it done. I also had him do a written interview also as well, but we're not going to jump into the written interview with that. I may ask questions that are pertinent to that, but not necessarily. So this gentleman is an author. He's a great speaker that stands up for women's rights and things of that nature in his home nation. But we'll talk about that here. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I want to introduce you to the author of Blood on the Dance Floor, Mr. John Akerele.
Yeah.
Now, did I pronounce your last name correctly?
Oh, yeah, that's fine. You did.
Good.
Yeah, you did great.
For a moment. How are you, man?
I'm good. Thanks for having me on the show, and thanks for the opportunity. I know it's been very difficult getting you to get me a slot on your show, and I must say the conversation back and forth, I appreciate it. I appreciate your time, the support, your efforts, knowing the time difference between both of us. You still created time for this event to hold, and I so much appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Oh, my pleasure, man. My pleasure. My pleasure to make sure that we got this to happen for you. I know that you're in Ireland and I'm in here stateside, and the timing was going to be a little difficult to do that because there's a big gap in the time difference.
Oh yeah.
So I guess the thing of it is, I want to start off with what made you transition from where you were born to where you are now?
Actually, like everyone else, I was born in Nigeria. That's my birth country. And like everyone else, would want to crave growth in their career, in their life, in other aspects of their day-to-day activities. So I decided to move to Ireland. Originally, I was in the UK for my studies, Aside from writing, I am a trained quantity surveyor and I'm a construction management professional. I had my master's in the University of Salford in Manchester a couple of years ago. And aside from the fact that I had a bachelor's degree in quantity surveying, I've also had a couple of qualifications as well. The recent being a master's in construction management, which I had in Manchester. And I'm also a member of the Irish Literary Society. Um, they have their headquarters in the UK.
Oh,
So
wow.
aside from what I do as a professional project manager, so I just decided to go into writing as well, being my if, because it has been my passion growing up. Then to create awareness of what is going on in the society, like we need to
Mm,
make a conscious awareness to enlighten people of what is going on. Then to like create more awareness as well for men and young boys in particular, because when it comes to issues relating to women, I think it is very, very important for men as well to be aware and to be conscious of the things they do when it comes to women. So, and that actually made me wrote my first book, which is Blood on the Dance Floor. Like I said during our conversation, Blood on the Dance Floor is a work of poetry that captures the struggles of young girls and women in general. It's actually a book that depicts the pain women go through. If we are to be sincere and to be fair, we understand that women go through so many issues in the society,
mm.
ranging from abuse, harassment, violence, rape, gender inequalities, and what have you. So it become very, very important for me to use my gift, which is writing, to create awareness in my society, especially in my country of birth, because we still have some states in Nigeria whereby we need massive orientation, we need massive awareness, particularly on the side of men. We need to orientate them and make them come to the awareness of the things affecting women in society. So when we talk about rape or abuse, people are quick to jump to saying, "Oh, it's her fault. She was half dressed naked. She was this. She was not supposed to be at the
Mm.
club at so time." And we should come to the awareness that men are the main abuser of these people. So it becomes very important for us to create awareness for this section of people. Okay, this and what you should do to help promote a situation whereby women can be safe in the society. Women, of course, they are free to do whatever they like. They are free to go to the club at whatever time they like. They are free to wear whatever they feel is comfortable for them without being judged, without being accused, and without being looked in some sort of manner like, oh, look at what she's wearing. She's a hoe, she's this, she's that. You understand what I mean? So it
Right.
is it is very, very important for us to create awareness for men and young boys. So blows on the dance floor, the purpose is also to challenge the existing stereotypes about women and to lend a voice to them and help them come to the awareness that being oppressed, repressed, and silenced is not the way of liberation. Blood on a dance floor presents an opportunity for us to rise above issues surrounding gender inequalities. It is sad to know that in some parts of the country, in some parts of Africa now, we still believe that some section of position are meant to be occupied by men. For example,
Ah,
now, yeah. For example, now, a woman cannot come out to contest some kind of position. Of course they will face backlash, they will face so many obstacles and all that, because some men believe that a woman's position is in the kitchen. Oh, this is where it's supposed to be. You are meant to be in the kitchen satisfying your husband, cooking for him, satisfying him in the bed, and all sorts. So I actually wrote this book to create this kind of awareness. Okay, it's an opportunity for us to rise above gender inequalities, rape, abuse, violence towards women, and create a conversation we can have, and not something we simply ignore and assume that will be sorted out somewhere. So I actually hope that this book will strengthen women in general and make men become aware of their struggles and hopefully make a difference in how to relate with women. So, in my book, the prologue introduces and summarizes the book's content, a voyage into the worlds of women, exposing their real wills, woes, struggles, and pain, depicted in a solidarity lamentation and bewildered of a girl who woke up to a hangover to discover that she has been raped, dumped by a man she met at a party the night before. Her body
Mm.
hurting, her dress torn, her private part bruised, and unable to remember everything beyond chatting, laughing, and drinking with the man who violated her. Her distress is captured. The event is over. The pain is not over. The cloth has been washed, but the blood is still there. I am on the dance floor of life. I cannot dance anymore. He has stolen away my joy. I see blood on the dance floor. So it's actually very important for us as men and young child to be conscious of the things we do in the society that affect women. Like, for example, now, when it comes to issue relating with women, we should be able to respect them, you know, make them safe, make them comfortable when we are around them. Because some ladies back home, they don't feel comfortable staying late at night. I remember the first
Mm.
time I traveled to the UK, you know, I was walking on the street. Okay,
Mm.
I went to Old Trafford to watch a football match. I think between Man U and Liverpool or something. So I was just walking home and it was late at night. I was very scared. You know, I think it was like maybe half 10 p.m. I was very scared. I was holding tight to my laptop, to my phone, to everything I had on me. And it just occurred to me that okay, I think I'm in a different environment. I think I'm in a different world. I was walking on the road. Nobody was coming behind me to attack me or something. But the case is different when we go back to Africa. You can't you can't walk freely when it is some time, probably maybe 10 p.m., 11 p.m. without being harassed. Oh, where are you coming from? Without being attacked by people or stuff like that. So in the same manner,
Right.
I want to use my book to create awareness for men and young boys growing up because obviously the young boys of today, they are the ones that will become the men of tomorrow. So it's very very important to start teaching them because now it's not about teaching the ladies alone. It's so unfortunate that parents today they neglect the boys and they focus more on the ladies when it comes to domestic issues like oh washing of plates, you know, cooking and all of that. Now we need to get the boys more involved as well. So when young boys when they spend more time in the kitchen, you know, doing stuff where it is primarily the duty of ladies, then it makes them more conscious. It makes them more responsible. You
Mm.
understand? So at this point, I just felt okay, let me write a book and create awareness of the issues going on in our society. And it is very sad to know that in some part of Nigeria as well, young girls as young as 12 years old, they are being married off or under the guise of religious belief. They believe that oh, as an allergy in the northern part of Nigeria, you are entitled to marry as many wives as you want, and you
Oh
can pick
wow.
up yes, and you can pick up a young girl at as low as 12 years old. This is heartbreaking. And it doesn't matter the consent of the girl. It doesn't matter if she's happy. It doesn't matter if she's sad or what have you. So far that the parents have met the man in question and they just conclude everything and just marry her off. No education, no nothing. So it's very, very disappointing to know that young girls are being groomed just for the purpose of marriage. They get married and they are being restricted to the kitchen to cook for their husband, to satisfy their husband's sexual craving and all of that. So it is very, very, very important to challenge this existing stereotype. You understand? So women and young girls, regardless of their gender, they are entitled to education, regardless of their young child, regardless of their gender, they are entitled to education, they are entitled to consent. When it comes to consent, they should be made aware. Okay, are you happy to go ahead with so arrangement? Do you think you want to get married? Do you think you want to go to school? and get a degree, get a qualification. So they shouldn't be forced into early marriage. They shouldn't be forced into child marriage. So at the young age of 12, of 13, a young lady is being exposed to a lot of things in the society. So you can imagine a girl of 12-year old making babies,
Mm.
at that age. And that guarantees that she will definitely be abused at some point, because obviously she can't decide on her own. She can't take any decision on her own. So everything has to come from the man, because she has been married off to the man under the disguise of religious belief. So I'll be reading. I particularly like this poem from my book, which says, "Teach your boys." It goes, "Teach your boys and teach your men, those that were never taught and the ones who refuse to learn. Teach them that a woman's body is not theirs for taking, and tell them not to take what does not belong to them. Teach them that a yes in the past does not speak for the future. Teach them what the word no means. Let them learn its definition and know all of its synonyms by heart. Teach them that a woman's body is not a canvas to paint their displeasure and anger. Teach them that a woman's worth isn't based on her looks. There's a thin line between appreciation and objectification. Tell them what side to be on and never to cross that line. Teach them not to be misguided by what moral compass there is, and tell them that what she wears is none of their business, and they should never, and that should never be an excuse. Tell them to plug their eyes if that may cause them to err. Teach them that women are in no way or form less than they are and should never be treated in that way. Dear teachers, please do your job, and do it to the best of your knowledge. So I think when people are enlightened, are made to understand the consequences of their wrong actions. So it makes them to act in a conscious manner. So particularly in Africa, I think we need strong laws to protect women in the society. You understand? So I think I was watching a video on Twitter a couple of weeks ago, and a lady was walking on the streets, and her clothes was transparent, and men were going after her, shouting on her, "Oh, look at you! Look at what you're wearing! Only hoes does this, do this and that." So it's very, very heartbreaking. Women should wear what they feel they are comfortable in without being harassed, without being embarrassed. They should have that right to walk freely without anybody abusing them, without anybody making them feel less of a woman. So at this point, um, I've made so many efforts to ensure that, okay, my book is being sent to various parts of Nigeria, and to Capital. I've just been endorsed by the Art Council of England. They reviewed my book, and it was given a green light, and the book is also available on Amazon. So, and I had so many. I had a couple of reviews as well. So at this point, it is very, very important to make women safe in the society. So also, I'll be reading from chapter 16 of my book, which says, "Let's make her aware." It says, "Education, they say, is light, but light has never crossed her path. She is a struggler, running daily to find the light. Even if it's a fall wall of a classroom, or ordinarily the sound of the bell, she craves light, but darkness has become her friend. Her male friends have heard stories about Adolf Hitler and how he killed the Jews. He doesn't even know who the Jews are. Adolf Hitler sounds like the name of a popular musician. Why would he kill? She didn't know. Her father had reminded her that she will soon end up in a man's house, and she would rot away in the kitchen bearing children. And being a man's pleasure giver, that's who your mother is. What else were you created for? She asked her, but she couldn't give the answers. She doesn't have answers because she's not aware. Maybe the greatest and biggest education she needs is self-awareness. Let's make her aware. So at this point, I think at a very young age, when we make conscious efforts to make these young girls aware of the things going on in the society, then they will understand consent. So nobody will force them to do what they are not happy with. For example, now in the UK or in the US, I don't think a parent can wake up someday and say, "Oh, we've gotten a husband for you, we've gotten a suitor for you, so you are moving with you are moving in with the man tomorrow." It is very, very impossible. The chances are slim, because at a very young age, the child knows her right. The child knows what she wants. The child knows what makes her happy, and nobody can force her to do what she doesn't like. So in the same manner, we need to create awareness, like say, like create a conscious awareness at a very young age. Let's teach these young girls what it takes to be a woman, what it takes to be a child, what it takes, like their right in society, what they have to do if they have been harassed, what they have to do if they have been oppressed, or stuff like that. So I'll also be reading from chapter 17 of my book, which says to enjoy or to endure. And it goes, "You know he loves you. There must be something you said that got him really angry before he could beat you. Marriage is not that easy. You need to become tolerant. You need to become more patient. Think about your children and their future. If you walk away, no man is perfect. Every woman is deeply flawed. And I believe he will change." Those were the words of my mom. The, the positive words were good, but they were not matching my reality. Someone to destroy my confidence and wiping out my self esteem. Who can understand what I'm going through? Or is it me, or am I just overreacting? Do I need more patience, as she said? Some things make you question your sanity. I don't know how long I can endure this. Are we supposed to enjoy this or simply endure it? So, in this particular chapter, and you agree with me that when it comes to the issue of marriage, some parents have made their kids to understand that, oh, when it comes to the issue of marriage, no matter what marriage throws at you, you just have to endure. You just have to endure. So these words were words that are not matching the reality of this young child. If someone is abusing you, if someone is like violating you, you are not meant to just sit down and endure. You have to do something about it. You have to take action. Otherwise, nothing is going to change. So I think at this point, when young girls are ripe for marriage, they should probably go to maybe counseling classes and stuff like that, so they can learn the things they will expect in marriage. So when so that if it happens that they are being violated, they are being abused, they are being harassed, they know where to go, they know what to do, instead of just sitting down and enduring it. I've seen cases whereby the husband beats the wife to death, and that was it. The last time I read in the northern part of Nigeria, I think the case is still in court today. A young child was married off at the age of 13
Oh
to
man.
to a politician. And I can tell you, I kid you not, you can I'll probably check online and I'll probably send you the link. After a week of marriage or so, the lady stabbed the man and the man died.
Oh.
Yes, the man died. So these are the things we want to avoid in the environment. For example, now the lady now, she's traumatized for life at a very young age. She has gone through so much. She has been harassed, she has been oppressed, she has been violated, she has been abused at a very young age. When she's still meant to be in school, learning trade, learning, going to school, getting a degree and all of that. So at a very young age, she's in court, getting a lawyer to defend her and all sort of that. So it is very, very important to enlighten them. Okay, at this so age, these are the things you should be doing. These are the things you are entitled to do. Okay, at a very young age of 13 or 12, you should be in school, learning what other people are doing. So it's very, very important to create this awareness. And I hope that my book will go a long way to give these people the awareness they need, and hopefully make a change in our environment. So I think
Man.
I would hand over to you and see if you would have comments or questions.
I mean, for me, honestly speaking, I mean the same problems that are Actually, I am through my microphone. Let me cut this joint off real quick. Hold on.
I think your microphone is good.
Okay, sorry about that, man.
Oh, yeah, it's okay.
So, I mean, the things you're describing now are pretty much no. I mean, in some cases, are not different than what goes on states, what goes on here in the states. Honestly speaking, just to be honest about it, I mean, except the simple fact that the the child marriage happens. It's just you don't hear a lot about it here than you
Yeah,
would in Nigeria. But again, it's still the points that you speak upon are pretty much are the same tenets that are are quote unquote supposed to be followed here in the
yeah,
states. That women, no matter what race, are supposed to be protected, and they're
yeah,
supposed to be
yeah,
cherished and loved and cared for, and you know allowed to be able to grow as
yeah,
not only as a woman but also individually. Now there's some religions and practices that don't allow those things, such as certain tenets of Islam. And I say certain tenets of Islam because not all Islamic faith, not everybody that follows the Islamic faith doesn't follow those tenets.
yeah, yeah,
But you bring about a really great point about the simple fact that women should be respected and protected. But it also
yeah,
brings about the other thing about the other tenet that we as men should be able to understand and respect the woman. You know, the way I was taught as a man, no means no.
yeah.
No means no
Absolutely,
now, no means no
absolutely.
in the future. If she says it, no in the future, and any other time after that. But when I think when you have people that when you have a culture that's already ingrained or they're already conditioned to follow those tenets and to go along with those, and I'm gonna use the word tradition very loosely here. Change is a very slow thing to come about when you want to try to change hearts and minds of people to believe, especially us as men, to believe that a woman should be cherished, a woman should be respected, a woman should be, you know, given deference to. It's a long process to change hearts and minds to
Yeah,
do that. And I think with your book, it's gonna go a long way to changing hearts and minds. The I think the challenge of it is to get people to buy into it.
yeah,
That's gonna be the real challenge, to get people to buy into this and to understand those facts and those tenets. You know, abuse is not cool for to receive as a woman or to receive as a man on any side, but to also to subjugate a woman to regulate her to the kitchen and only the sexual interaction and to the baby making and the rearing of the children. That to me that's a little that's a little much. And I think it is incumbent upon men, us as men, but I think government leaders should be able to should put things into place, and enforce it. Make it, you can you the crime for abusing a woman is punishable by such and such, you
yeah.
know. And the one thing that I want to ask you is, especially especially in Nigeria, are women's rights something that is widely talked about, or is that something that's just largely ignored?
I think, to be fair with you, it is ignored to some extent.
Mhm.
It is ignored to some extent. So when we're talking about women rights in Nigeria, then we need to be specific. We need to be like more direct. Okay, what are the rights we are talking about as women? You know, For example, now, like I said earlier, when it comes to occupying some position in Nigeria, they believe that women have no right occupying those positions. You know, in
Uh-huh.
fact, a man will feel insulted having a lady as an opponent. You know, a man will say, "Oh, no, I'm not your mate. You know, we are not in the same category. A man should be doing what you are doing." So men most times they feel intimidated when they see women matching up to their level, matching up to their standard. You understand? So they try to block every means that will make women equate them. That will bring women to their level. You understand? For
Wow.
example, now, like some top positions in Nigeria, they are occupied by men. Traditionally, they believe that okay, it is a man's world. It is a man's duty to occupy this position. So most times, women they have to diversify. Like oh, do businesses, do all sorts of and ignore certain things. So when it comes to women rights in Nigeria, I think it is ignored to an extent.
Mm, okay. Wow. That's an interesting thing that you say. I mean, because I think, and it's just the fear of a, I think for most men, they just it's the fear of a woman outdoing them or outworking them. And I mean, I would say the fear isn't justified because in certain instances, I, for me especially I think in government that
Yeah,
a woman's more diplomatic or deft touch would be much more welcome than a you know jump in with all guns blazing approach of some men, not all men, but some men.
yeah,
So politically, a woman's deft touch is a lot more would be a lot more preferable because you know I think when I look at folks like I look at women like Condoleezza Rice,
yeah.
um, uh, a lot of women that's in Congress, are our current vice president and also
Hmm.
other notable women. I think that when they navigate these situations, they navigate them just a little bit better
Yeah,
than a man would because they're a lot more understanding to the issues at hand, but have the ability to have the ability to see both sides and then make a rational decision based upon hearing information on both sides. You
yeah,
know, us as men, we're less rational and more to kind of just to seeing things from just the cup, just the icing, and not seeing everything from the out, from the inside out. And I think a woman would be much more capable. Not to say that a man's not capable of doing the same thing, but I think
mhm,
a woman's empathy is would be much more desirable. I believe in
yeah,
that case, especially when it comes to politics, and even in the home,
mhm,
and even when addressing social issues. The simple when you say that it's for the most part it's largely ignored. For me that it's a co- it's a concern for me because the simple fact of the matter is that regardless of I won't even say regardless. In addition to what you mentioned earlier about women's rights and things of that nature, at the very base of it, women are human beings too,
yeah.
and they deserve
Absolutely.
to be respected
Yeah,
and loved and revered and adored. At the base of it, women are human beings too, and I think the one thing that I believe that I believe that you're gonna be successful with, especially with this particular book, is driving that point home to
yeah,
young men,
mhm,
because now those young men will understand that, hey, wait a minute, I can't do this to a woman. She's a human being just like I am, and she needs to be respected and revered as well. So
yeah.
let me think about my actions.
Oh yeah,
This
yeah,
it's the brother. It's the same thing, that it's the same tenet that we have going, that we try to deal with, that we deal with here in the States, that we try to for even for me as having boys. two boys and to have two boys and a girl and a girl. Um, my daughter's married.
Oh,
My
wow.
two boys are not married. They're single guys out there doing what they doing whatever
Yeah.
they do as single guys. You know, and the one thing that I try to do that even with the young men in my community in my neighborhood or any young man that I come across to look, man, you know, I tell them that chivalry is not dead and being a gentleman is always in season and in style.
Mm.
You I think to to implement those things to teach especially men teach men how to be gentlemen, to be chivalrous, to be kind, to be, you know, to act in a way that's respectful
Mhm.
to women. You know, it first of all, it I think that it will generate some self-respect for themselves because they're showing deference and respect to someone else, someone
Yeah.
of the fairer sex. And it's like I said, that I think that point will drive. I do believe that point of it that will drive a significant point home, especially to the young men and the. I'll say this is going to be for most. It's going to be primarily for the younger men in Nigeria, but also it's going to be for the older gentlemen there
Yeah.
too as well, because
Yeah. Yeah.
now they're going to be able to see things in a different light, in a
Yeah.
different way, and it's
Yeah.
going to force them to think a different way.
Yeah. Of course.
So wait a minute, I'm not supposed to be doing all this. Okay, good.
Of
So
course. Yeah.
and but also I think it should also bring about some self awareness for the women
Yeah.
because it's not going to be easy to remove themselves from that traditional role. That's going to take an
Mhm.
element of time,
Yeah.
and I think there should be now. Are there any programs in place to empower women? I mean, and not only just in Nigeria, but in Africa as a whole.
Yeah. What do you say?
Are there programs in place that help empower women, not only in Nigeria but Africa as a whole?
Oh yeah, I would say there are several programs that will empower women, but most of them, I think they are not really into it. They just do it for the fun of it. You understand
Uh,
what I'm saying? So like
for the appearance.
exactly for the appearance, okay, let's do stuff that will empower women, and after 1 or 2 weeks, you never hear anything again about the program. you know so it's really very very heartbreaking because when the young ladies in society, when they start attending women empowerment program, and they feel safe, they feel secure to walk freely, and they know that okay, if they have issues affecting them, they know where to go, they know who to go and meet to defend them. They know their right. Okay, my right is being violated in a way. Okay, let me go and meet this kind of people who can help me. But the way things here now, people just go into empowerment program, maybe NGOs for the fun of it, and after a couple of weeks or a couple of months, you hear nothing about them again. You know, so it's really very heartbreaking. Like we need to act, we need to take actions. We can't just watch things that has been happening in like 50, 40 years ago still happening in this age and time. We need to challenge the existing stereotype. We need to act and change all these things. Nobody wants their daughter or their child to be abused, be violated. So we need to
Exactly.
act. You understand? So we need to act. We need a law in place. Okay, we need people to come out and act. You understand what I mean? So it is very very important. Otherwise, nothing is going to change.
Exactly.
Child
Exactly.
marriage will still go on. Child marriage will still go on. A child of 12, 13 years old has no business with marriage. She should be in school. She should be
Exactly.
in school learning. you know if someone wants to get married, then it has to come from a place of consent. Okay, I like this
Exactly.
man, I want to marry him. No one should force a child into marriage. No one should force anybody into early marriage, into child marriage. That is where abuse comes in. You know,
Oh, yes, sir.
a
Yes, sir.
a young girl who doesn't even know, who can't even identify a right from a wrong, doesn't even know what rights are. You understand? So she feels the man is the head, the man controls everything that happens in the home. And when it comes to marriage, it should be like a communication thing, like an affair thing. Okay, this is the man, this is the wife. You take decision, you come to me, we review it, then we decide. So
Yeah.
in the issue of child marriage, nothing of such will happen, you know. And once a child is being married off at a very young age, I can tell you that our life has changed forever. Her life has
Wow.
changed forever. Yeah, she would definitely not recover because at a very young age, she's not meant to go to school. She's not meant to go out. She's meant to cover herself up in some kind of Islamic way or what have you. So she's confined to the house, and her primary function is to bear children and like and restrict herself to the kitchen. You know, so it's really very sad. It's really very sad. So we need to take actions, otherwise nothing's going to change in a couple of years to come. Nothing's going to change.
Right. Things history has a funny way of repeating itself.
Yeah,
And especially when, when change is slow to come, you know, it's for me, it's just kind of, it's sad. It is saddening, but also, just from listening to the poems and the stories in your book, I'm encouraged that change can happen. It's
yeah,
just that the question is getting the right people on board, getting people to understand that this is something that's not supposed to happen, especially not to someone that's 11, 12, or 13 years of age. I mean, they have no understanding of what's going on. No, that they even, you know, they're just hitting a stage to where they're beginning to understand their own bodies at that point.
mm,
And to me, that's like, I don't know. I mean, just to think about that, the thought of my now 22, 23-year-old daughter being married off to someone at 12,
mm.
13, 14, or 15,
It's
even
the
16
thought
years of
alone
age.
is crazy. It's ridiculous.
Yeah,
You know, it's
yeah,
ridiculous. You know.
yeah. And but also it's a ridiculous thought. Is but it ain't but it angers me to know that that it, that could have been a possibility, or even though work it's remote, even though it's a remote possibility, it's still a possibility.
Mhm.
For someone that lives in Nigeria, that possibility isn't even remote. It's pretty much a fact that at 12, 13 years old, you're gonna be given to this gentleman, and you're gonna be expected to behave as a wife,
Yeah, yeah.
as a child.
Hmm.
Craziness.
It's crazy.
You can't
You
expect
know.
someone that age to behave as a wife. I mean,
Yeah.
and besides, and I strongly believe that, you know, that being a wife is something that's for someone who's for a woman, or I'll say marriage is for people who truly believe in love each other, and
Yeah.
want to be
Oh yeah.
together, but also
Oh yeah.
are going to work
Yeah.
together
Yeah.
to make
Exactly.
it
Yeah.
work.
Yeah. Absolutely.
This is Marriage is not a one-sided thing. It takes two to make it work.
Yeah.
You're gonna,
Yeah.
and you're gonna, and you're gonna be, they're gonna be polar opposites.
Yeah.
And wow, man, it's just to understand, hear stuff like that, and to understand, and to now have a better understanding of how that particular tenant works. It's like now I'm like, well, geez, how can this be? How can this happen? You know, or better yet, even ask the question, how did we get here? And what can we do? And what can be done to move forward? Not just the programs that you mentioned that only last for a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
There has to be something that's a little bit more potent,
Hmm.
longer
Yeah.
lasting,
Yeah.
and that will bring about that true social change that needs to happen. I
Yeah.
mean, I do. I strongly believe that what you've written will is going to be the vehicle for that, but also on the backside of that, it's going to take a tremendous amount of time and effort
Yeah.
for your ideals to for those ideals that you have that those fat well back I won't even say ideals though these factual things to be realized because I'm not going to say they're ideals now these are factual things what you
Hmm.
say the words that you said in the few excerpts of your book are factual. Number one, they're factual. Number two, they're wide reaching. They're not just for Nigeria or Africa in general.
Yeah.
This is a world. That's a world. Those words are worldwide, and every man should follow those words.
Yeah.
Not every man should try their best to show deference, to show consent, to be as chivalrous or be as gentlemanly as possible. But then again, you know what? The one thing that I thought about earlier when you were mentioning a lot of those things,
Yeah.
it goes back to how you were raised and how you were taught.
Yeah.
It goes back to what was ingrained in you as a child, as a man, as a young boy growing up to be a man. So those influences also work in concert with tradition
Yeah.
or inherent traditions. You know, your father you saw your father you saw I mean, and I'm just saying this as a loose example. You may have saw your father marry someone that's 12 or 13 years old. So the expectations pass to you as well.
Hmm.
But
Yeah.
I think when people don't do what's expected, they become change agents.
Yeah.
They really become change agents. And for you to tackle the subject of the protection of women and showing these young boys that respect and consent is required is is a brave thing, brother, and I most definitely commend you on that because
Mm.
you don't see too many gentlemen guys write books or write poems and stories that relate to that. Most of the things that you see are mostly I won't say to the opposite, but you don't see a lot of men writing stuff like that. I commend you on that for taking on such
Yeah.
a,
Thank you very much.
a complex subject.
Mm.
So I commend you for
Thank you
that,
very
man.
much. Thank you very much.
Um, I am like for me and now just listening to how passionate you are about it. Now I'm inspired to try to make a change, not only within myself but also with other people, other gentlemen that are around me.
Yeah.
Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's try to be gentlemanly. Now, for me, I've always been that, but it is something that I try to instill in my children, my boys especially. So I think a lot of other men need to hear this. They need to hear the simple fact that it's okay to be a gentleman. It's okay to show deference. It's okay to show respect. It's okay to ask for consent before just saying, "Hey, I like you. I want you. Let's do this."
Yeah.
Hold on, wait a minute. Can we slow down for a second? But it's I commend you for that, brother. I really do
Yeah.
because
Okay.
it takes a bold person to really to write from that perspective,
Hmm.
from the perspective that you write from, and to really just show care into and care and also a considerable amount of thought process
Yeah.
into writing something such as this. I know for me personally, I'm actually gonna go to Amazon and grab a copy so I can read the rest of these
Thank
stories.
you.
So I can read the rest of these stories
That's kind of
and
yeah.
really just you know get an understanding of how this is and how this can be and how this can affect people. Um, and everything has a negative and a positive effect. Like you mentioned earlier, people are traumatized when they go through stuff like that. People are affected when they go through stuff like that. They're changed when they go through stuff like that. They're forever changed.
Yeah.
And that is a stigma. I mean, we need to, it's a horrible cycle that exists here in the states because
Wow.
because especially with you know black men, we don't protect
Yeah.
we because it's the thing that we don't
Yeah.
protect our women enough, and we allow them to
Mm-hmm.
endure all the stuff that they should not endure, and that's a hard stigma to break, especially when it's something that's been ingrained for so long. So I first and foremost, I thank you and I appreciate you for your boldness
Thank you.
to just
Thank
to
you
be
very
like,
much. Thank you
let's
very much.
let's talk about this. Let's put this on the table.
Yeah.
Let's figure out a way to make this a better thing or a better life for all
Yeah.
involved, not only for the men but for women. Let's educate people.
Yeah.
So I commend you very much for that. I really do,
Thank you
man.
very much. Thank you very much.
I'm first and foremost I am so glad that we were able to connect on this and talk about
Yeah.
this because
Yeah.
and also just talk a little bit about what you do. You know, I'm glad for this. I'm so happy for this.
Yeah. Me too.
I feel energized. I feel empowered now to try to be even to be to just try to even be a better person, man. I
Yeah.
really do.
Yeah.
So, but before we conclude this particular interview, I am going to give you a chance to give yourself give to plug yourself, tell everybody who you are, where your books are, where they can find you at on social media. So I'm gonna give you that time to do that right now. You have the floor.
Okay. Okay. Hi everyone. So, like I said earlier, my name is John Akerele, and aside from writing, I'm a trained quantity surveyor, and I currently practice as a construction project manager. So, I do remote jobs in the UK, and I practice here in Ireland. And my book, Blood on the Dance Floor, is available on Amazon. I don't know if can I. Is it possible to send a link on the chat or something?
Yeah, you can.
Is Yeah, I would probably hold on a second.
Yep,
Yeah,
you should be able to put a link on the chat.
yeah. Before the end of the section, I would probably put a link on the on the chat. So it's
Okay.
available on Amazon. This is Blood on the Dance Floor, and this book was written to create awareness regarding issues that are facing women in the society, and I can be found on Twitter at the Form Poet on Twitter, and I'm not on Instagram at the moment, but I'm trying to get a page on Instagram. So I'm on Facebook at my name is John Akerele on Facebook. So you could reach out to me and we could coordinate and talk about various things in the society.
Yeah.
So I love writing, and during my leave period, this is what I do. Because construction can be a bit challenging, it can be a bit time consuming, it can be ethic, but outside of that, this is what I do. And I have a couple of books that are still in the pipeline. I'm still trying to put some stuff together, and hopefully, I'll be producing them. I'll be publishing them in a couple of months, say 2 3 months from now, and I'll be sending you copies. I would actually send you. After the show, we'll catch up and we can talk about how I can get a copy across you for
Okay.
giving me this opportunity to be on the show and for the support. It's not easy getting someone in your location to have a
Yeah.
conversation with, because I have families in the US as well. And when I'm trying to chat up with them, you see that they are sleeping or they are just doing something else. And when they are trying to get across to me, I'm either at work or I'm just waking up, going to doing something else. So it's really, really very challenging. So I must commend you for your efforts because it takes dedication. And thank you for not getting tired. Thank you for replying my emails. In fact, I can't count the number of times we've had like this conversation via emails, maybe 30, 40 times. It's really, really amazing. Thank you very much. Thank you so much. And thank you for having me on this show. And I hope to be a part of this show in the future. And
Oh, Oh,
I hope I
you've already been invited back, brother. Don't worry about it. You've already been invited
yeah,
back.
and it will be my pleasure to support what you are doing. I love what you are doing. I enjoy what you are doing. You know, you have this passion. Because I was telling a friend about your show. I was like, oh, I'm not sure Fred will get me a slot on the show because I've not met him before. We've just been talking back and forth through emails, conversation and all that. That do you think it will come true? He said, let's give it a try. And here we are today. And I really want to support. If there's any way I can maybe some kind of donation to support what you're doing, I'm down
Oh
for
yeah,
it. Yes.
yeah,
So like if you have
we'll most definitely talk offline after the show is over, and I can let you I can let you know how you can support us in that way.
oh yeah,
Um,
okay, yes, yes,
I know
yes.
for me it's never about the money for me, especially when it comes to doing something like this
It's about passion. No,
to bring authors like you who are passionate about what they do. And there's so many people that I've had on this platform, and everybody that I've talked to are passionate about what they do. For me, it's never about the monetary support. It's to be able to bring someone's passion for what they do and their
yeah,
platform forward and
yeah,
expose it to our listening viewer our viewing audience, but also expose us to other people that that I'm connected with. That for me that is the true reward.
yeah,
The monetary thing, yeah, I mean it's well and good and things of that nature. And if someone wants to do it, then I'll accept it. I'll accept it grudgingly, but I'll accept it. But
yeah,
for me, the true reward is seeing someone blossom into that, or come out of their own, or just be exposed to a different audience and different people, and able
yeah.
to connect with different people, and also be able to you know expand their network. So for me, people like you, writers like authors and writers like yourself, and I mean there are so many other people that I could name. We probably be the rest of the day doing it, but but authors like yourself, um, Quint Jones, um, Colleen Williams, Sheena Goodine, Angela Williams, Angela Thomas Smith, people like you guys are the reason, are the main reason why I do what I do,
Hmm,
because you guys have a platform, you have a vision, you have a purpose, and you want that
hmm,
purpose and that vision to be made known and be made plain. And for me, that is my reward, to be able to be a part of your vision and your purpose by putting it helping you put it forth.
yeah.
So I am
Thank you
so
very much.
this is something I truly enjoy, because you know
Wow.
I don't, to if I don't, if someone even offered me to do this for the pay, I'd be like, you know what, just keep the pay. I'm doing it for the love,
Love, yeah,
for the,
yeah,
for
yeah,
the love of people, for the love of an art, for the love of people who have positive platforms,
hmm,
that want to reach people, that
yeah,
want to be change agents. You know, we tell I think we as a society, we as a world society, we talk about change agents, we talk about being change agents,
mhm,
but we don't always act on those words.
yeah, yeah,
So I think in this day and age, especially with you know the times that we live in now, I think it's so much important to be change agents now,
yeah,
to be that voice. You are that voice for women. You are that voice for women in Nigeria, brother. You are
yeah.
that voice for women in Nigeria, and I think your voice is going to go a long way with making some very needed changes. So keep doing what you're doing, brother. Keep doing what
Thank
you're
you very
doing.
much. Thank you very
Keep
much.
doing what you're doing. No, but I know it gets frustrating, and I know because I'm a writer myself, it gets frustrating when you feel that you're trying that you know you have something that you can change the world with, or change a mindset with, and no one latches on to it. But keep going, brother. It's someone's gonna be affected by it enough to where they say enough's enough, and they're gonna change. They're gonna make a change, or they're gonna help push that change. And you're gonna be a big part of what you've written. It's going to be a large part of that. So keep going. Don't give up on this writer life, man. It
Thank you
has
very
its
much.
reward.
Yeah, thank you very much, brother. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. I appreciate you having me on this show, and I hope to be a part of this show sometimes in the future.
Most
Thank you.
definitely, man.
Thank you
I
very
got you.
much.
We're most definitely would like to have you back, man. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I want to introduce this brother right here, Mr. John Akerele. His book, Blood on the Dance Floor, is available right now on Amazon.com. Go grab this book.
Yeah, I've just
This is
sent the link to the chat. So
good deal.
the link is on the chat.
Good. Go grab this book. Please go grab this book. If you don't grab anything else, grab this book, please. I'm telling you, it's going to be life changing. It's going to be some people are going to be y'all going to y'all. I'm telling y'all gonna like this, man. Y'all gonna like this book. I promise you. So yeah,
Thank you very
if y'all
much.
don't do anything else, grab this book. It's gonna be an enlightening journey into women, into how men should treat women, and how men should treat women. Um, so man, again, John, I want to thank you so much for being here, for being
Thank you
my
very
guest
much as well.
on
Thank you very much.
on a Saturday afternoon here, probably a Sunday or a Saturday evening there.
Yeah, it's evening here.
Yeah, Saturday evening there in Ireland, man. And I want you to continue writing, continue to be a blessing to people, and just continue to stay safe out there in Ireland, man. I truly enjoyed this conversation with you, and
Thank you. I
I
did
hope
as
that it
well.
sparks. I
Thank you
hope
very much.
it's going to spark more conversations. I promise you.
Yeah,
So,
thank you very much for having
ladies
me
and
on the
gentlemen,
show.
no problem. Ladies and gentlemen, before I conclude this show, I want to leave you guys with a thought, with this particular thought, and this thought is pertinent to what we talked about, or to what me and my guest talked about earlier. Women's rights, or should I say, women in general. Women women should be respected, no matter the country of origin, no matter the country of origin. Women should be given deference. Women should be loved. Women should be protected. It is our duty as men to do these things. It is our duty to protect our women, protect our women. It is our duty to show them respect. It is our duty to show them deference. It is our duty to show them that they are loved and show them that they are appreciated. By not doing this, by not doing this, we create a rift between the relationships of men and women. We further that divide by disrespecting, not not respecting the words of consent, not respecting the phrase that no means no, and not respecting the simple fact that they are of the fairer sex. Yes, it's possible that when women can do some things better than men, and that's a given. And also to the opposite. But a woman should never be disrespected or never be given an opportunity to not do that thing just because they're a woman.
Hmm.
In closing with that particular thought, we as men and women should always learn. Men in general should learn how to respect. Should be better respecters of women. It's vital for us as men to show that we can protect our women, that we can care for our women, that we can show love and concern for our women. This is something that should be taught to all to not only this is something that should not only be taught to younger men, but also to the older generation as well. Because regardless of what anyone thinks, of course this is a man's world, but it wouldn't be anything without a woman's deft and delicate touch. Ladies and gentlemen, that is my thought for today, and that will conclude the special edition of the Office Alley with my host FLBD. I want to thank
Thank you very
my good
much.
friend and my good brother, Mr. John Akerele, for coming on and just blessing us with a great story and a great purpose, great cause and great purpose, man. We're most definitely going to connect and try to connect on future episodes.
Okay. Yeah.
We're most definitely going to do that, and we'll most definitely chat. I'll chat with you offline via email, and let you know what you know what you can do to support us. And I'll also make sure that the link to your book is out so everybody can make sure they get a hold to it.
Oh yeah, thank you
Matter
very much. Thank you
man,
very
so
much.
you're very
Yeah,
welcome. Ladies and
yeah.
gentlemen, that's going to conclude our show for today actually. But tune in on Monday and Wednesday for My Life Has Destiny, rate My Life Has Destiny podcast with Quinn Jones and Coco Fenton. They have some powerful guests on both days. And as I always like to say, we love you. There's nothing you can do about that. But also take care of each other, stay safe, and
Yeah.
continually continue to love on each other.
Yeah.
My name is FLBD. This is the Arthur's Alley. And you guys have a very good day. And we'll see you again.